You do not have to be good.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about this grody looking pen. What the heck is this? Why am I making an entire video about it? And what do I use it for? So if you want to find out, stick around and hang out with me while I talk about my favorite pen. So as you've seen before, I am an avid sketchbook keeper. I have a sketchbook practice, whether it's urban sketching or on the couch while watching a movie and just anywhere. I always have a sketchbook. I keep one this size in my crossbody bag everywhere I go. I've had many sketchbooks since 2019. So I want to show you some of the sketches I've done using my favorite pen. And now I've tried a lot of pens in my time. I really like these Tombow Fude calligraphy brush pens. They come in a soft tip and a hard tip. I love these. I buy them like crazy, and yes, I still use them. However, I got into fountain pens a couple of years ago because I am a journaler as well. And I bought this one originally for journaling, and it pretty quickly became my go-to pen for my sketchbook. So let me show you some of the sketches that I made using this pen. So basically, anytime I need to put text or I need to label something, I'm going to use this pen. I always use a black ink. This is the one that I use. This is called Platinum Carbon ink in black. This is waterproof. It is extremely black. This is my go-to. You can put it down, it dries really quickly. You can paint over it. It's not going to lift, smudge, bleed, anything. It's amazing. Here is another example. And this was my sketching kit in 2023. My bag, here it is. And I'm actually not using this bag any longer, but that was my sketching kit. And I'm going to show you what I use now. But this video is not about sketchbooks. It's not about bags. It's not about any of that. It's just about my favorite pen. Here's another one. And sometimes I'll do some journaling on the side. Sometimes I do the pen first, other times I do the wash, and then I do the pen on top. And this is perfect for both of those methods. Here's another one. Every single one of these pages has been done using that pen and that ink. And I'm going kind of fast because this is not a sketchbook tour. If you'd like to see this sketchbook, I will pop the link to this in the description or make a card, and you can go watch that later. Now this one, I actually used a brown ink. So I like the DeAtrimentis Urban Sienna document ink. This one's fantastic, also waterproof. And I don't have any left, but the Platinum Carbon ink does come in Sepia brown, and that's what that is. This one was done in brown, as you can see. Same pen. So you get the idea, right? You get the idea of what can be done with this pen. Now this one was done with this, and you can see the difference. The text is a little bit bigger. It's got a little more variation to it. So that was done with that. One of my favorites. This is me swatching my palette. I have so much fun with ink. Okay, so you get the idea of what this baby can do. Now I want to talk about this, and I'm not going to get into fountain pens too much, but I do want to show you. So here's another one. I really like this one, and this one has a bent nib. I love the bent nibs. They're fantastic. So this fountain pen has something called a converter. It's where you literally use this little plunger to suck the ink into it, and you can change out your converter and your ink. So that's great. And I will put a link to this pen as well. This is pretty good. It kind of skips. I've had issues with it from time to time. And it also comes in other colors like this beautiful iridescent. And then there is this one. So this one is what's called a demonstrator. A demonstrator is a pen where you can see the ink inside. This baby's ink capacity is amazing. Using an extra fine nib on this one. And I recently decided to build a second kit for my kind of like my go bag. This one stays in this kit. So this is my bigger kit. I'm not going to talk about this, you guys. I have another video on this. I'll post the link to that as well. This is my favorite sketching kit, and this one stays in here. But I wanted one for my crossbody bag that goes with me with my smaller sketchbook. So I got one. I finally did it. Now these are only $20 as of the date of this video. They're $20. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on Goulet Pens. I'll put the link to that. I love Goulet Pens. That's a rabbit hole in and of itself. But it comes like this. The brand is TWSBI. I believe it's a Vietnamese brand, I want to say. It says made in China, but I digress. And this time I went with the fine nib, just to change things up a little bit. So let's go ahead and open this and we'll fill it together. The sleeve is kind of tricky to get this out of. Okay, so that was the cardboard sleeve. This is plastic and it comes like this. It has stickers on the ends. I've already cut those. Just go. Okay. So the first thing you want to do when you get a new fountain pen is clean it out. Just with some water, go ahead and give it a good rinsing. This one does come with just some instructions on how to fill it, how far to submerge the tip. And this is a plunger style. This is not a vacuum. They do have vacuum fillers. This is the plunger style filler. And you can see the difference. This is a brand new clean one, and this one has just been used so much, and I did have a leakage at one point. So you can see it's been through a lot. I should probably clean it, but this is what it looked like brand new. They do come in clear, smoke, and one other color. So you can go check those out. And then the nibs you can get in different nib sizes as well. So like I said, extra fine, and then this one is fine. So that means it'll be a little bit bigger of a nib. Compare. Excuse the dirtiness of this. But this one is ever so slightly bigger than this one. I'm curious to see the difference in the larger nib. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, this is my pot of water, and I am going to take, so it has this sleeve on the back, and then it's got this spring-loaded plunger. The ink capacity of this is insane, you guys. Out of all the fountain pens I own, this one has the largest ink capacity. I do also have two of the TWSBI Eco, and those are great too. They're a little bit more, they're about $35 versus the 20. So you just clean it out. You just kind of stick it in the water, and it sucks up the water. And just give it a good cleaning. And then try to get as much water out of it as you can, just using a cloth. Okay, let's go ahead and fill this baby. This is my dedicated ink cloth. I don't wash it. I just, anytime I'm filling an ink pen or using ink, I will get this out. So here we go. Now, this bottle has a little vial inside, so you have to tip it upside down. It fills the vial, and then turn it upright. So you can see it has that little cup inside, and that just helps you so that there's always, the ink level is always higher than what it actually is. Okay, now this might be messy. I usually get ink on my hands when I do this, so all right, here we go. So I'm going to push the plunger down with one finger, and I'm going to hold it with the other. Okay, you missed that because my camera fell down, and I already broke my New Year's resolution, which was to stop swearing. But we can always start over at any moment, right? So here it is. It is filled, and what you want to do is clean it off. And yes, I've already got ink on my finger. It's fine. Now, you can see there's an air bubble in this. See that? So what you can do is turn it upside down and flick it like you're giving someone a shot, and you can go back for more. The slower you go, the less bubbles you're gonna have. I think that that's good for now. Okay. Just gonna clean that off. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the back on. And then we can cap it for just a minute. So here's my sketchbook I've been working in. I painted a Pop-Tart. But anyway, I am just going to show you, and we're gonna look at the two different line widths. Okay, let's start with my old one, which is the extra fine nib. One thing to note about this is the cap posts. So this is called posting it. There's a whole bunch of lingo with fountain pens, but it does make it quite long and a little bit unbalanced. So I like to keep the cap off the back personally. Oh, and also I will mention most fountain pens have a screw-on lid, and this is a snap cap. That is a huge, huge factor for me when choosing a fountain pen for sketching. I need the lid to be quick and easy to get on and off. Just like this one. It's just important to me. Other fountain pens, you have to spend time unscrewing the cap. It's not the end of the world, but it is a factor for me. If I make it as easy as possible for me to sketch and paint, then I'm more likely to take the time to do it. Okay. So here's the line width. These pens are awesome. They never skip. The ink is always ready to go. Like anytime, even if I haven't used it in a while, the ink will just be ready to go. And they're never scratchy. I love these pens. So here is the TWSBI Go. That's what it's called. I don't know if I mentioned that in EF. Let's try out our new one. So I've got it kind of on its side. Oh yeah, definitely a little bit bigger. Now this is a cold press, Fabriano cold press paper that I'm working on. So it does have a little bit of a tooth to it. We'll try this out on some smoother paper just for, you know, to give you an idea. TWSBI Go. Fine. So the difference isn't massive, obviously. I almost went with like a really bold nib just for fun, but I decided since this is going in my second kit, I kind of want it to be similar. So I only changed it up a little bit. Okay, so this is a book I made using Tomo River paper, which is a dedicated fountain pen paper, and it is like the best fountain pen paper other than like the Leuchtturm 1917. So I just wanted to show you how smooth this writes on dedicated fountain pen paper. So look at that. So here is the fine. And here is the extra fine. Very similar, like I said. The difference is almost indistinguishable. And just to give you kind of a frame of reference, this is the soft tip. This is a felt tip. This is that Tombow pen that I was telling you about. So I use this when I want thicker lines, but you can tip it and get a thinner line. So these are good if you want line variation. And because it's a soft tip, if you push down, it gives you a thick line. And when you pull up, it's thin. So you can do the variation, which is nice. So I wanted to mention that I actually have tried a whole bunch of pens. This is called the Jinhao Shark. They're very, very inexpensive. I got a pack of 12 of these for like $18 on Amazon, and these are the bent nib as well, which I love. So let me just show you. And this is the Urban Sienna ink. Now on rough paper, you're going to get that variation, and it's very textural. So if you flatten it, you get a thick line. And then if you go thin, you get a thin line, which is really cool for urban sketching. So, you know, something like that is good. And this one does have the converter. And each pen comes with their own converter so that you can have different, like I said, I have so many of these. However, they are not as consistent in flow as these TWSBI Go pens. But it is fun to have a bunch of different pens. I've heard a lot of people recommend Sailor fountain pen with the Fude nib, the bent nib. I bought it and it just wasn't for me. So anyway, like I said, I have tried so many fountain pens. Here's a fancy one that I got for my birthday last year, and it's really dirty. I need to clean it. This is the TWSBI Diamond 580. It's like a $90 fountain pen, and it has the iridescent iris. This one is a piston filler. So this turns, and that is called a piston. And this one's a screw cap. So this one is for journaling. And I did go with the extra fine nib on that. And this one is filled with a gorgeous turquoise ink. So, but these can be really fun for urban sketching too, and any sketchbook work. And it's fun sometimes to put ink in that is not waterproof, because you can do this. Which is really fun. But let me show you. These ones are completely waterproof. You can put watercolor over the top and they do not run, they do not leak, they do not bleed. It's the best ink ever. Well, actually, I guess not. Same with this one. Oh, I know why. This is the Ferris wheel press Oyster Hour ink, and it is not waterproof. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and put this one back in my bag. As you can see, this is a very well loved, very well used bag. This is no longer available, unfortunately, anywhere on the internet. They do have a tall, skinny version of this, and I don't know the brand because it's a Chinese brand. It just says "Okay, nice day" on it. There are other brands that sell something similar to this. So really quick, I just want to show you the kit I'm putting together and the reason I bought this pen. So here is a bag. This is going to be my crossbody bag for this year. And that snaps. It has this large pocket. I got this on Temu, which, guys, I don't recommend Temu. I don't buy from Temu anymore, but I had some credits, and so I went ahead and got this. Anyway, so it has this up here. I've got my change in here. Oh, and I have my wallet right here. So all my cards and stuff are in there connected to my keychain. But anyway, this is my sketching kit. So it zips up like this. And guys, I bring my little sketchbook and my new art toolkit palette. I have a video I just released on this. You can check that out. But I take it with me everywhere I go, because if, like I said, if I make it as easy as possible and as accessible as possible to sketch on the go, I'm more likely to do it. So, this is how this works. This unsnaps. I kind of wish these were magnetic, but first world problems, right? So this, I wanted something where the front flap came down like this. And this has room in it to fit my larger art toolkit. So if I wanted my larger one, I can put it in there and it's good to go. But it is a little bit heavier, and I'm trying to pack as light as possible. So this one actually can fit right here. And then I can throw any other, you know, extra pens and whatnot. But anytime I have a fountain pen, it needs to lay sideways. I don't want to store it up and down like I have these other pens. So those will be stored up and down like that. Fountain pens should always be on their side. So I'm going to keep that down here in this pocket and go ahead and close that. And that's where it's going to live. and this is going to live here. And honestly, I could put this down here with it as well, but I like how secure it is in this little zipper area. And then I've got just a bunch of like water brushes and pens and whatnot. And then I have my cloth for wiping my brushes on and my sketchbook. I like this size for on the go, but I always have other sketchbooks in progress. I have sketchbooks all over. I have one next to the couch for when my family wants to watch movies. I have one in my backpack. I have one next to my bed, and I have one that always goes with me. So I just started this one. I call it my everywhere sketchbook. Sometimes I'll pull it out if I'm making dinner and I'm waiting for things to cook. I'll sit down on a stool and I will paint in the kitchen. And then I have a water bottle. This is what I use for water when I'm on the go. So I'm really excited about this. New year, new me. And not really, but new sketching kit. So that's it. Anyway, but this video was about my fountain pen. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Have you tried fountain pens? If so, what's your favorite? If not, are you interested? I will put a link to the TWSBI Go fountain pen in the description, and you can go get one for yourself. So anyway, I hope you have an amazing week.
You do not have to be good. Even the best of us have been misunderstood.